If you're a fan of The Final Word, you need to be following us on Twitter. Check us out at Fox Kickoff. You can follow me. I'm at Lou Canellis. And Evan is at Evan W. Fitzgerald. Welcome back to The Final Word. Lou Canellis live with you from Arizona. Spring training was at both camps today. Absolutely beautiful. Early workouts for both teams. Let's talk about the big story so far is all these position players that have reported to camp early. Cubs position players don't need to report till next Wednesday. The White Sox on Tuesday. What a buzz about the Cubs at Sloan Park right now, and for good reason. Everyone talking about the Cubs making that World Series visit come next October. Now, Joe Maddon the other day said that his new saying with his players this year is to embrace the target. What he wants them to do is actually accept the process that they'll go through this season to hopefully win that first World Series in 108 years. Players are excited about it, and why not when you've got the dynamic duo of Jon Lester and John Lackey, two guys who have won 2 World Series rings apiece. Combined, they have thrown 225 postseason innings. Earlier today, Batman and Robin, Lackey and Lester met with the media.
Finding a way around the clubhouse, you know what I mean? Like, finding stuff and, where to park. It just makes things easier, like, meeting people, because you got, 30 different people. You got to remember their name now.
I think when you know people as well as we know each other, you can definitely talk to each other a little bit different than you talk to everybody else. There's no sugarcoating anything.
John Lack's going to tell Jon Lester exactly what he thinks all the time, and I think it's good that they're going to have this honest and open conversation.
Our wives are friends, so it's a full family deal for sure. Yeah, we do a lot of stuff.
Jon Lester likes to have people around him that he's familiar with. I think Lackey's the perfect foil.
Lester's perfect catcher, David Ross, was with both, helping the Red Sox win the 2013 World Series. This season, they try to do the same for the Cubs.
We're not here just to play 162 and go home. We want to do the whole thing and bring a championship back to Chicago and have fun doing it.
Obviously, it's been a long time, since it's happened in Chicago, but the ways you win championships haven't changed, and we've both won a couple, and hopefully we can bring some of those things here.
His manager counting on that edge Lackey brings to the mound, even if he's gotten a little more laid back with old age.
Take this the right way, mellowed a bit.
4 out of 5 days, I'm pretty laid back and having a good time. But when it's my day, when you only get 30-something times to help your team, I take it pretty dang serious, and I'm gonna go get after it.
Chris Bryant said that he is so happy to have Lackey on his team. He hated facing Lackey when Lackey was a member of the Cardinals last year. He hated his nasty stuff and that nasty grin that he gives the opposition. Speaking of nasty, how about Adam LaRoche's season last year? It was nasty bad, and LaRoche at camp today showed up a couple of days early. He is there because he wants to rid that taste of last year's bad first season with the White Sox. Adam Eaton also showed up today. Eaton will talk to the media tomorrow. Todd Frazier, the new leader in the clubhouse, he's been at Camelback Ranch all week long, and I'll tell you what, this guy has a new, fresh attitude that is contagious in that clubhouse.
Being from New Jersey, I talk a lot, so, man, that's kind of a little bit of it. But, you try and lead by example, and I think as a good leader, you need people behind you to back you up. I mean, you can't just do it single-handedly. And, coming into a new complex and a new team, I'm not going to be as boisterous, I'm not going to be crazy. I just got to, find my little niche and find my way in there.
Just trying to feel like myself. That's something that I wasn't able to do the past 2 years. And I feel like I said, the off-season program that I got on, I feel like it did get me right.
The White Sox was one of the first teams that contacted me, and I kind of saw my options, and I believe this was the best fit for me.
Navarro, Latos, and Frazier were all teammates in Cincinnati. The newcomers looking to fit right in with the White Sox.
I did a little homework. I looked online a little bit and seen, what the capabilities we have with this team. The pitching staff is great, through the bullpen and starters, and I've said this, all the time. If we're healthy, if the team-wise is healthy, and we got guys that produce and do their job, we'll be fine.
Relationship, get to know your guys, get to know especially myself, get to know my pitchers, and then go from there.
Navarro will work at building a relationship with John Danks, going into his 10th season with the White Sox, final year of his contract. Admitted this clubhouse is different, a more focused, rejuvenated group.
I'm as confident as I've been. You know, Coop and I sat down a lot and talked about our, you know, just kind of tweaking our plan of attack this year, and you know, looking at some different things we hadn't looked at, and man, it's got me excited.
I know Mom was kind of emotional. Is she accepting now that you're a member of the White Sox?
Yeah, she's fine. Sometimes I got to trick her a little bit, but she's doing well. You know how mothers are, man. They're really emotional. You know, I'm the youngest of 3. She wants her baby to be happy, and that's basically how that goes. It's every time. She cried when I left to go to spring training this year. It happens. I go, Ma, this is the 10th year I'm going to spring training. You know, how about putting a smile on your face? She's like, okay. And it was.
3 seasons have left White Sox fans crying. Let's hope that Frazier can change those emotions from Chicago to Jersey. Let's bring back Barry Rosner, who's back at our Fox studios in Chicago, our baseball expert. And Barry, let me ask you, because the enthusiasm, the excitement, the expectations at both camps off the charts right now. And I get it with the Cubs because of their lineup. Many are comparing it to the 27 Yankees and that starting pitching staff that, frankly, I think is even a bit underrated. But even the White Sox with plenty of excitement. Any chance that we could see both these teams in the playoffs come next October?
Well, sure, it's possible, Lou. I mean, it's baseball. We obviously know what the Cubs are, and we expect the Cubs to be really good this year. I think the playoffs are already assumed. They expect to go far beyond just a playoff berth. As for the White Sox, I mean, that division, look, Detroit got better. Kansas City is still going to be good. Could the White Sox make the playoffs? Well, they'd have to get some spectacular performances. One of them is going to have to come from Adam Eaton, who can't come out of the box as a bumbling, stumbling fool like he was last year. He's got to be good in the field, on the bases, and at the plate. The other key, I think, is Carlos Rodon. Everyone's assuming that Carlos Rodon is going to be really, really good in this rotation. He's pitched 140 innings in the big leagues. And when everybody talks about Chris Sale and Carlos Quintana, they include Carlos Rodon in that. And I just don't know that you can necessarily do that. If he's really good, then I think the White Sox have a chance to be pretty good.
And I'll add one more thing to it. John Danks told me that he's got something different he's working on with Don Cooper. And Danks says that he feels he's going to have the best season of his career, this being his 10th season with the White Sox. That's going to wrap things up here in Arizona from spring training. Reporting from Arizona, I'm Lou Canellis, Fox 32 Sports. Evan, Barry, back to you guys. Take it away.
All right, thanks a lot, Lou. Lou's got a pool party to go to.
He's not wearing a coat either. I mean, he's doing really well out there. It's Jose Quintana, and it's Artem Anisimov. So that's the 2 names that I got wrong tonight.
Well, yeah, all right, we're keeping a running tab.
There's a if you find any more, please let me know.
I'm sure Twitter has already let us know. Coming up, we got